What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, we are going to go over the ultimate pre-foreclosure video today. Guys, if you are into wholesaling real estate and you want to learn exactly how to wholesale pre-foreclosure step-by-step, the ultimate pre-foreclosure guide. I know these videos out here, they teach pre-foreclosure for wholesaling. They'll teach you one part, they'll teach you the other part. There's not a step-by-step analysis for you to actually have a complete understanding of the pre-foreclosure process for wholesaling real estate. And in this video, I'm ready to share with you exactly how to start doing it, how to start doing pre-foreclosures. I'm telling you, pre-foreclosures is going to be a huge, there's going to be a bigger wave of them this year than last year. And I'm excited to share exactly how to actually start wholesaling pre-foreclosures. I'm going to break down exactly how to stop foreclosure. I got some tips and tricks for that today. And I'm just excited, guys, today to share with you the entire pre-foreclosure business start to finish. Like, if you want to start wholesaling pre-foreclosures, you know, I see some videos out here. Here are the options for pre-foreclosures, and that's the entire video. And I got some people that say, here's ways to stop it. This is what you tell the seller. But like, nobody explains the process. Unlike there's some videos that explain it, but then they won't tell you what to tell the seller. Guys, every pre-foreclosure video I've seen for wholesaling real estate, they're all chopped up pieces and they say, hey, go buy my course and I'll show you the exact thing. Guys, I'm doing that today. So I'm chopping up every single pre-foreclosure video you've seen out there, and I'm actually giving you what we do in our business, and I'm going to show you the exact rules, the guide for pre-foreclosures from start to finish, from what a pre-foreclosure is, like the seller scripts, everything. I'm excited. Common objections. Like, I'm telling you, it's all there today, and I'm excited for it, guys. We've spent a lot of time getting this video together, basically 20 years in the process, and I'm excited for this one. I'm ready to go. So many people do pre-foreclosures wrong. And that's a big thing that I wanted to kind of say today, because so many people, they get a list of pre-foreclosures and they don't understand what the seller's going through. They don't understand the process. And the biggest reason why you have success with pre-foreclosures is you're the person who understands the process that can help the seller out. When you don't know the process and the seller doesn't know the process, y'all are screwed, okay? And then someone experienced, maybe like me, goes through, and I'll just basically destroy your deal there because I understand the process better and the seller go with me. So this is going to be a pretty informative video. So it's going to be kind of a longer form video. So just be aware of that. I am going to get into depth with things. So this is a live video, obviously. So if you have any questions, I want you guys to comment it, and I will try to go elementary on some of the more confusing terms, if that is confusing. But really what I'm going to do is break it down. So before we get into it, guys, I'm telling you right now, we're ready to go. I'm excited. This is going to be the ultimate pre-foreclosure guide. I am ready to go, guys. This is all exciting. This is all live. This is all new information for 2022. I'm excited. But here's the problem. You know, I'm excited. I'm always pumped to get on here. I'm always pumped up to share with you exactly how to get going in this business, how to do this business the right way. But here's the problem. There's always one or two people that are sleeping on the job. They're stuck in bed. And, you know, they can't get out of bed to get it going. And what I'm telling you is you got to get out of bed. You got to get pumped up. This is free stuff. We are changing the way wholesaling real estate is being done. The future is now for wholesaling. And I'm teaching it all for free. When the only people on YouTube doing it, we're putting these gurus out of business, and I'm excited. So if you're excited to change everyone's life, get out of bed, guys. It's wholesaling time. Woo! Let's get it going, guys. Let's learn pre-foreclosures and get it going. Cue the intro.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
I'm ready to go. I'm excited. So guys, if you are ready to go, ready to get this bread today, just as Jesus is saying, let's get this bread. Let's go it. Guys, this intro makes your day. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy it because it ain't going anywhere. And I'm pumped up, guys. So if you are ready to go, excited to learn pre-foreclosures, guys, do me one huge favor, guys. If this is something that excites you, if this is information you know it's worth thousands of dollars. This is like a pre-foreclosure course. I could easily sell this video I'm about to do for $1,000, and I could probably get 40 people every single month buying this. I'm telling you right now, if I market it the right way, I could easily sell this thing like crazy, but I don't. I give it out for free. So I'm giving you $1,000 today, basically, of game for free. So if you can just do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe, that's the only payment I would ask for, is for you just to hit that like button, subscribe. And most importantly, guys, if you have a question, if this is something confusing to you, if there's any part of this process that doesn't make sense for you, do me a huge favor and comment it. Even if this is not live for you, this is live right now as I'm recording this. People in the comments are here live. But if you're watching this video, 2 years from now, and you have a question, I personally answer every single comment. In the next 2 years, I still be doing that. So I will be on here answering everything. So if you're smash that like button, subscribed, are you ready? Let's get it going. Let's cue it up and break it down. So let's kind of get into the ultimate pre-foreclosure guide. This is exciting. So remember, guys, you got questions, you let me know. I'm always here to help. And let's get it going. So let's break down pre-foreclosures. Now, let's get into the boring definitions. Just so I can tell you how to do it. Let's get it going. So number one here, let's kind of break this down of if you're starting this business and you want to know, what is a pre-foreclosure? Basically, the legal jargon for this is basically a pre-foreclosure is the first process of the foreclosure process. The best way I can remember this or think about this when I was starting out is a foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. Basically, you guys know you have when you go get a loan at the bank and you have a mortgage, right? If you stop paying that mortgage, there is certain clauses in there basically saying the bank can get their money back, right? They can take the house away, things like so. This is basically more or less the foreclosure process. The pre-foreclosure process, if I can sum it up in a sentence, is basically the note. It's kind of the scary notice to the person that's saying, hey, you better pay up now. We're going to give you like 3 or 4 months. If not, we're just taking the house over. And that's the scary part. So let's kind of break it. So pre-foreclosure is the first process of the foreclosure process. A pre-foreclosure refers to the first phase of a legal proceeding that ultimately can conclude in a property being repossessed from a default borrower. The lender, usually the bank, files a notice of default on the property in pre-foreclosure because the borrowing owner exceeds their contractual terms for delinquent payments. Remember, what I have honestly seen is in every state, I'm going to say this off the bat here, every state's different with pre-foreclosure, but most of them have federal guidelines of around 120 days until a notice of default or a list pendants is done on the property until they actually start the foreclosure process. I've seen around 120 days or roughly 3 to 4 missed payments. Roughly, that's what I've seen. Each state could be different, but for most states, that's where it's at. Remember, guys, if a homeowner is late on a certain number of payments, the lender may issue a notice of default, sending the home into pre-foreclosure. Just remember, guys, the mortgage borrowers may still have options during pre-foreclosure to save their homes. Kind of like what we're going to talk about today to actually help the people out, right? We're going to help these sellers out. You can get out of pre-foreclosure, usually by selling the house or giving just paying back the back payments because it is expensive to do the process for the bank. A lender is obligated to go through a court proceeding to finalize a foreclosure eviction notice. That's the biggest issue I've seen people talk about with banks. So that's why they just want you to pay it back. I don't think they care too much. Remember, guys, some lenders will make back payments to get out of pre-foreclosure. So they'll let you get out of it, some of them, but some of them don't. It really depends. And this is sort of what we're understanding. Pre-foreclosure is going to be an interesting process. There's so much great motivation with it. And this brings us back to, why pre-foreclosures work for wholesaling. Why do us real estate wholesalers love pre-foreclosures? Number one is these sellers are in highly motivated situations. They need our help. We are here to help them out. But you got to remember this too. I'm going to say this so many times, and this is the truth. We're here to help the seller out, even if that doesn't mean that us helping them will get us paid. I've said this a million times, and I will say it 4 billion more times. If I have a seller who's in a pre-foreclosure situation and, I can make 10K on the deal, but I know in my heart of hearts, it's probably best if they just list the property, or they are in a good situation where they can get a loan mod or a personal loan from a friend. I'm happier if I can help them out in that situation, not get paid, than anything else. So I have seen it where doing that, I've gotten paid more than not. So always do what's best for the seller. It will come back to you 10 times. I'm not going to get in the karma debate or anything like that, but that's what I can tell you. Remember, these sellers are not like the typical motivated seller we've seen. Pre-foreclosure sellers are a different breed. I can tell you this. They are a different type of seller. We need to qualify and help them. There is huge problems going on in these sellers' lives. These aren't like your tired landlord just wants to get rid of it. There's huge issues, so much motivation, a lot of drama. Just know that off the bat. Remember, guys, there's going to be huge paydays if you can get this done right. Extreme motivation, and they're really great lists. So much motivation, especially in your quote unquote saturated market. Now, this brings us back to the next part here, where there is a ton of competition. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. In pre-foreclosures, if you are in a decent sized market, there's a ton of competition for pre-foreclosures. It's, in my opinion, very easy to beat these other sellers, especially when there's a lot of competition, with the right marketing and acquisition skills that I'm going to show you later today. And all you got to do is pay $9.99 to learn them. Just kidding. No, I'm going to give it all for free. That's a joke. I like making fun of gurus. Deal with it. Remember, guys, with pre-foreclosure sellers, in my experience, these sellers will lie to you. They will procrastinate. They're going to be very emotional in this process. So you're going to have to show empathy and care about the seller. Remember too, guys, if I can give you one word of what makes someone really successful with a pre-foreclosure or not, it's going to be speed. Speed getting a contract signed. Speed getting in front of that seller right when the pre-foreclosure gets hit. Speed on getting the closing done as soon as possible. I'm telling you, speed. Speed is going to be essential for getting success in this business, and especially for pre-foreclosures. So I'm going to give a couple seconds for you guys to screenshot this. We made this graphic here, and this is pretty much the closest thing I could say to the entire foreclosure process, the pre-foreclosure process. I don't see many people make graphics for this, so I had to go spend some time Sunday making this before the Super Bowl, just making sure it looks all fancy. I'm not the best at graphics, but try to make it in my, brain, my simple brain here. What could make this process simple? So let's bring it back from left to right. That's how I like to think of processes. So number one here on the pre-foreclosure process, we're going to be in a pre-foreclosure. What is this? This is basically when the seller misses one payment, two payments, three payments. This is really where we're going to be at. So when the seller misses a payment, they're not automatically in pre-foreclosure. Like I said, it takes 3 or 4 missed payments, usually 120 days. So before that 120 days, let's say you miss one payment, maybe you forgot it, right? You're probably going to get a friendly, possibly a friendly letter from the bank. We don't know how friendly it's going to be, but every bank's different. But really nothing's going to happen. Hey, you missed your couple payments. Your payments past due. You're 2 months, 3 months. If you don't do it, we're going to do a process foreclosing on you. You're going to get different type of letters. And this is the pre-foreclosure. Nothing happens at all. Like there's no legal proceedings, anything like that. What I can tell you is the sellers really don't care at this point. Oh, I missed the payment and nothing bad happened. Well, I'm just keep missing payments, right? Usually a lot of people do that. So I'll tell you that's number one. Next here is the official pre-foreclosure. This is step number 2 here. Usually we're 120 days. What the bank does, usually they hire a lawyer to do this, or they got lawyers there. They kind of do what we call a notice of default. So a notice of default is going to be basically a publicly recorded document, basically saying, hey, this person's in default, and they're basically filing public documents, maybe a list pendants, Basically a fancy term for a legal action being taken, and they're starting the process of doing it. Sometimes it's like 45 days after that default is put in, and then boom, the foreclosure date is there. There's an auction, things like that. But what I can tell you is sometimes in like states like Florida and Texas, it's really fast. Some states in like California, Illinois, it's a lot slower. It really depends, especially with the panoramic that's going on. Yes, I know I said that name wrong, but I'm not getting flagged from the algorithm. Things have been really funky with pre-foreclosure state by state. Sometimes it's going to be 6 months. I know people that have been sort of in a pre-foreclosure for, 24 months, right? Every state, city, municipality, sheriff, sale, eviction's different. Most places, they're basically ready to go, and there's no issue with it. So right here, we have a pre-foreclosure, and then boom, let's skip the middle one really quick. And then we got the auction date set. Basically, an auction date is set that the property is going to go up for auction. The bank wants their money, and then they'll sell to the highest bidder. And then boom, when the auction date happens, it's a foreclosure auction, or if the bank doesn't get the money they want, it'll be REO, which basically is a bank-owned property, and then they basically get an agent. They have an asset manager, all that fun jazz. I'm telling you right now, the period that we're really focused on, where we're doing our work, is in between the pre-foreclosure and that auction date. The auction date is going to be March 1st. This is January 1st. The time between that, I kind of coined this. People have probably said this before. I'm calling this the wholesaling window of time. This is the window where us as real estate wholesalers can actually go out here and do the deal. Like, we have a certain period where we can actually get this pre-foreclosure deal done. And this is right when that notice of default usually happens and when that foreclosure date happens. So the window of time for wholesaling, remember guys, this is going to be the time for us to actually market the deal, sign an actual contract with the seller, assign that contract to a cash buyer, and get the property sold before that auction date is set. This is also a time where we can do a short sale. This is not going to be a short sale video. This is a wholesaling pre-foreclosures. Wholesaling short sales is another ball of wax I don't even go into today. Okay, that is a separate video. That's its own dragon we can get to, especially when the market starts getting a little more turbulent. We can talk about it. Short sale is really not going to be something we should be focusing on, especially in this market. Now, let's say we're outside this window of time. We didn't do anything, or the seller doesn't do anything. The auction date's set. It's not the end of the world for wholesaling, but just understand, once that auction date is set, it's a lot harder to save that deal. I'm going to show you how to save the deal. And you're almost in the foreclosure process, almost out of pre-foreclosure once an auction date's set. Just understand that. And then boom, you got the foreclosure auction, or REO. What I want to explain here is, this is not the most fun thing to say, but like, your seller, the biggest chance, if you do marketing and this a pre-foreclosure lead, they will literally call you at the 11th hour. Okay, I've seen this so many times. When you're cold calling pre-foreclosures, or you're talking to pre-foreclosure sellers and they're like in la la land and they don't want to deal with you, they will contact you 3 days before the auction. Like, that is when they go and decide to talk to you. These sellers, they don't want to hear it. They tell them, hey, you're in a pre-foreclosure, you're going to lose the house. It's like, la, 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 I can't hear you. Everything's fine in my life. You got to remember, I'm saying this in the most respectful way. If you're in a pre-foreclosure, something probably happened with you that you decided not to deal with the payments, or decided not to actually, pay the loan out. And you're probably in a situation where you're either procrastinating the payments, you're in a situation where you don't want to deal with it, or you're just ignoring it. And most sellers don't want to deal with that at all. They would rather wait until the end to even deal with you. So they will most likely call you 3 to 7 days where there's really not much for us to do. It's disheartening. You want to go scream at the seller, say, why are you talking to me now? Why do you talk to me like 2 months from now? Well, they have la la land in their head. They're going to get a loan modification. They're going to get that brand new job. They're going to win the lottery. Everything's going to be fine. A lot of people have that mindset with pre-foreclosure. It's not a good mindset. But a lot of people, I got this taken care of. I don't need it. I don't need to deal with you. Right? And A lot of these sellers are going to get less money with the auction than if they actually dealt with us. So it's pretty important we go help them out. But what I'll tell you is most sellers are going to call you when it's too late. So understand that. So basically that auction date, the auction date's set, sheriff sale, they're going to go knock, knock, knock. We're evicting you. Actually, there's going to be an auction date. Auction date's going to be, I don't know, March 1st or whatever, or let's say June 1st. And it gets bidded to the highest bidder. Most of the time, the bank just wants to sell the house for what's owed at the minimum. So the opening bid's usually like, if you're behind 100K on the payments and you have like 20K in equity, and like let's say the house is worth 140, the minimum auction bid is going to be 100K just because the bank wants their money back, right? So usually if they can't get that opening bid, they're just going to take, the bank's just going to keep it themselves in REO. And basically they're going to bank-owned property, they're going to deal with realtors, and they're just going to sell it. And that's what they do. Those are hard wholesaling deals to do. That's for just separate video also. Not the biggest fan of them. They used to work back in the good old days, but not the best right now. So we have to also understand this, and I don't want to get too complicated in this process, but if you can see here, some states, most states have this. If you see the asterisk on the bottom, see redemption periods by states. There's a thing called a redemption period, and a lot of sellers actually have a lot of rights when they're in pre-foreclosure. Some states, like Illinois, some parts kind of in the Northeast, Northwest, you can actually redeem the property back within 6 months of it being auctioned off. So if you auction it off and someone buys it, and if someone has the money within 6 months to go get the house back, they can just take the house back. Even if the person who bought the foreclosure auction, even if that person renovated the house, they get the house back. So redemption period's risky. A lot of states are not fun with that. So just understand that's something your cash buyer has to understand. But it's interesting. Tax deals have that. It's kind of interesting. So some of them have them. I know like Texas. I'll actually just I can pop this up. I kind of had this up right here on redemption periods. Let's see here. Let me show you this. And all right. So this is actually let's go share this really quick, just so you can see what redemption periods are sort of looking like. This isn't going to be the full video. We'll skip through this really quick. But these are kind of like what, basically for foreclosures, what the redemption period looks like. And these kind of have the codes on them and everything. I'll go put this in the comments for you guys to see. It'll actually show the state statute, stuff like that. Just so you can see when redemption periods. I know Texas, I don't think they even have one. Let me look here. Alabama, it says 1 year to preserve the right. Alaska says none. Arizona, 6 months. Wait, for less common judicial foreclosure. It really does depend. Each one's going to basically do it. Delaware's got none. Florida, yes, but the later the court clerk of the finalists specified in the judgment. So it's kind of with a court's discretion. Hawaii, let's see, 3 business days. See, they get 3 business days before the sale. And there's more legal, like you got to read up on your state. Like Massachusetts doesn't have one. Michigan's kind of the roughest one. They have 30 days to a year, depending on the factors. I know if it has more acreage, it'll actually be longer. Nebraska doesn't have one. Missouri, it's a year if the mortgage holder is the purchaser. It really depends. New Hampshire, none. You got to go look at it. North Dakota, 60 days and 365 for agricultural land. And this is basically, you got Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, Washington State, West Virginia, Wyoming, 3 months. So really look it up. These are the state statutes kind of breaking it down. And I want you to re-look at them because they change all the time. But those are basically the redemption periods. And those are in the comments. You can go check that out and see. So that's what a redemption period is. Just understand your cash buyer should know this. But you do want to kind of, hey, this is a pre-foreclosure. And then some of the states depends. So if it's a pre-foreclosure, you're fine. The redemption period is basically if they buy it from an auction. But every state's different. So redemption period is not really too interesting for a pre-foreclosure, but if it isn't a foreclosure and you somehow wholesale this on an auction or you buy it from an auction, want to sell it back or something, just understand that. So this gets to the next question, probably the most popular one, how do I actually find these leads, right? Another huge thing why I love it is these leads are actually, you can get them for free. Now you can also, obviously, if you have PropStream batch leads, if you have smszac.com or listrei.com, you need to just click a button and pull them, right? Pretty simple. But the reason why I like it so much is like, you got no money. This is a great hustler list because you can get it for free. And that's why I like it so much. You can get it. It's public record. Like, this is kind of the government getting into it, doing this. So the court action, all public stuff. So this is why I love it. So actually, how do you find these pre-foreclosure leads? You usually use public records. Now you just search and filter your public records by notice of default, list pendants, etc. Call the clerk of the court, ask them how you can actually pull this information or ask for it. Go in person. It's going to be great. Listrei.com, aka PropStream. You can actually go out there, pull it pretty simple. smszac.com. I mean, they're both pretty simple to do. Just understand this though, guys, especially in wholesaling real estate in general, but for pre-foreclosures, you have to serve the seller. I cannot say this enough, and I will be screaming about this forever, but you're in service to the seller here. Like, you want to help them out. This isn't, if you're going for your bottom line, actually how to make the most money for yourself. Yes, it sounds like that's the perfect thing to do. It's not. Help the seller out and help them out in their specific situation, and you will get paid tenfold than if you did it just for yourself. Because sellers can sense when you actually have true empathy for their situation and actually trying to help them out and legitimately trying to help. Not the, here are your options, and I'm going to tell you why none of them are good except for this one. No, actually break them down with them and actually go through each process and see which one's the best. Remember, you're going to be like a consultant here to these sellers. You're not even going to be like a wholesaler. This is a cool part. Obviously, you're the person that buys properties for cash, but you're going to help the seller out, especially when you reach out to them. Just remember, you're going to be the one that is ready to help the seller. If the seller's best option, guys, I'm going to say this again. If the seller's best option is listing it or renting it out, even if you make $1, help them. Help them out. Even if you don't get paid from it, just help the seller out. Hey, you hear me giving stuff out for free, pay it back by doing that, okay? Maybe that's a good deed you can get from today, right? But I'm telling you, if you keep doing that, your seller will notice and you'll get a lot more deals. Remember, guys, you have to have empathy, no sympathy, empathy, actually caring in your heart of hearts of these sellers in their situations. You will have so much more success. If you treat these sellers with compassion and true care, 99% of people, I've only seen about 1% of people have actually no empathy or compassion for people. And that's like 1%. Like, that's a very rare case of a person actually not caring. Everyone's got a mother. Everyone's got a family, right? Everyone loves puppies or kittens, right? Like, you got to have compassion, right? So if you have that, which I know you guys watching, you do have that, you bring that out with the seller. Even if that's something you like to hold your feelings in, you don't have to be emotional with them, but you have to actually understand what they're going through. Put yourself in their shoes. It will change drastically. You have to also ask the seller, you do not want to, the thing is that you do not want to force a situation. If the seller is just, they want to stay, let them stay. Probably not going to be, just understand that's probably not going to be a good deal for you, but that could be a situation. Now, just let them understand, hey, are you going to be selling this house or staying in it? And that's going to be a pretty good question to ask, because if they want to sell it, then we can go through the options with that. If they want to stay, we can go through those options. If they have no thought of selling it, don't even be offering a cash offer on the property, right? Makes no sense. Remember, guys, you got to care about the sellers. Remember, these sellers will lie to you. A lot of them have pride and ego, which I try to tell you guys to get away from. It will be the end of your business. But what I can tell you is if you get your pride and ego out of it, you're going to do better for yourself. But a lot of these sellers have it. You might door knock and say, hey, Mr. Seller, are you interested in selling your property? And they say, no, I have no interest in selling. Why do you think I would even be possibly want to sell my house? Like, it's pride and ego. They don't even want to deal with it. That's fine, right? On to the next one. They say, hey, I don't want to sell my house. There's no reason to sell. Even if you go, hey, Mr. Seller, I know you're in pre-foreclosure. I want to help you out. They say, I'm not in pre-foreclosure. They have too much pride and ego. They don't want their neighbors hearing you, right? That they don't want to talk about it. Fine. Go in that, you're not going to change their mind. If someone's got pride or ego in this one, they're just going to say they have it. They're not in the situation. They have it taken care of because, they're the boss man or woman, right? Like, you just got to deal with it. So just understand that right off the bat. But you're going to be a problem solver, consultant, whatever you want to call it. This is how we're going to help the seller out. Remember, guys, having compassion, empathy, and speed, this is going to be the most important part for success in this business. If you do not have it, you're not going to have success with this. Remember, guys, so let's kind of break down. When we're talking to a seller, they're going to want to know what options they have. And these are really the options I've seen to help the seller out. The one thing I haven't really put on here is renting the house out, because obviously their PI, their DTI is not going to be too well with that. And I don't think I don't even give that option out, because they could, if they want to save the house and live with somebody, but it's really not a good option. That's not something I'd say I would offer it if they want to, but these aren't big options I would say for pre-foreclosure sellers. The options I've seen is, number one, hey, if you want to sell this house for the most money possible, you got to sell it before the date. If you want to get the most money out of this house, you should list it with a realtor. Now, if this is a good wholesaling deal, I'm going to have an auction date in 2 months, and there's just not enough time with loans. This house needs too much work. I don't want to deal with it. Sure. If they understand they want to deal with a realtor, no big deal. Number two, they can file what we call, quote unquote, the veterans like to say BK. I hate that word. I don't know why they say file a BK. It's so confusing. It reminds me of Burger King. I don't like that. But quote unquote, what that means is bankruptcy. They can file bankruptcy, which hurts their credit. It's going to hurt them actually buying another property. Not a good situation. Pre-foreclosure, if your sellers get into it, it is not the end of the world. You can easily get over it. This is like, I'm telling you, it's a joke. Like pre-foreclosure, like it's not the end of the world. Like it's not a big scar on your record. A bankruptcy is probably going to destroy your credit, though. I'll tell you this right now. Even pre-foreclosures, it's not going to completely destroy your credit. It ain't going to look good. You're definitely going to have to help your credit out a little more from there, but it's not going to completely destroy it like a bankruptcy or a foreclosure is going to look like on your process, especially underwriting if you get another loan, right? So if you did a pre-foreclosure, but you got out of it, you sold the house, you had plenty of equity, you're good. You're going to look way better. Next here, I know a lot of wholesalers leave that as the last option. But you can say this: I can give you a cash offer on the house with enough equity where you can actually sell the house. You don't have to have this record on you of this foreclosure. You don't go through the stress, evict with the kids. You don't have to file bankruptcy, and it'll give you a pathway to buying another house, so you're safe, right? That's pretty good. Cash offer is probably my favorite. That's why we make good deals with wholesaling. But remember, you also do some other stuff. Number 4 is terms. Now, this is a wholesaling real estate video, but I'm a real estate investor, so I will tell you, terms actually might be the best option for the seller. You do a subject to, you do a lease option. If you understand creative financing, I would bring that up. If you do not understand creative financing, probably not an option I would bring up. Write your own options, but look up subject twos of the pre-foreclosures, look up lease options of the pre-foreclosures if they have a lot of equity in the property, which means if they sell the property, they'll probably have some left over of what they owed. So if the property's worth more than what they owe, they definitely have some equity in there. So it could be a good option in terms. My creative finance investors on here too that watch our creative finance stuff, they understand terms is going to be great. Pre-foreclosure is one of the best for terms, but also great for wholesaling. I'm specifically going after these leads for wholesaling real estate. Just so you guys understand that. But remember, that could be an option. Terms, take it over subject to the loan. It really depends what's best for the seller. Most sellers, I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to say that sounds too confusing. I don't want to deal with that. It's too much work, which for a lot of people, it is too much work. So we get sub twos though like that too all the time. Number 5 is what we call a HELOC. I'm not trying to talk over your head. I'm not trying to talk over your head and make you confused. A HELOC, it basically is short for a home equity line of credit or a homeowner equity line of credit. I am not embarrassed. I don't know the exact definition of it, but it is a home equity. Wait. HELOC stands for home equity line of credit. Okay, yeah, I got that right. So basically, you take out a loan on the equity of the house. So let's say the house is worth $200,000 and you have $50,000 of equity in the house. So if you sold it for 200, and that means you had about 150 in equity, and it's worth two. No, wait. If the property is worth 200, and if you have 50K in equity, that means you'd probably owe 150. Let's say you owe $150,000 on a property worth $200,000. That means if you sold it for 200, you would get 50,000. You get a loan out for that 50,000, so you owe 200, but you use that 50,000, you got cash for yourself. A lot of creative finance investors do that. A lot of people have rentals do that. A lot of people actually really enjoy it, and they do it. They do really well with it. Just understand a HELOC, they could get a loan out on the equity they have. If it's a subject to, they won't actually have equity, so it's actually kind of perfect for us wholesalers. But just understand a home equity line of credit sometimes can be kind of confusing. It actually might not be the best option for the seller. So it's definitely up to you which they want to do. Remember, that's it's a mess of a situation. Someone can get a loan modification, which I'll put in the loan category, where they can modify the loan and actually maybe have the back payments in the end of it. What I've seen is, you can look this up, most loan modifications have like a 70% failure rate. Don't quote me on this, but it's an extremely high rate of failure. And so that's an option. They might say, hey, I'm just going to get a loan modification. Most of you guys are going to fail at that, especially during these times, but hey, maybe you get it. There's some certain clauses you can actually put in your contract, which you can actually get over this objection, which I'm excited to share. And this is part of the $1,000 course you paid, right, to go see this. So it's in there. Number 6 here is another option they have, is they can wait it out. I need more time. You can just wait it out for 2 months and maybe you win the lottery, right? Number 7, which is another option they have that no one really talks about, but this is an option I like to put in sellers' heads so they actually get the gravity of the situation, especially if they have a family, right? I'm not telling people how to live their lives, but this is a scary situation. But this is where I call the write it out. Go through the entire process and being evicted. Wait until the auction date gets set, maybe April 1st. Have the sheriff knock on your door April 2nd, kick you and your family out, throw your belongings out in the street, and you go find a place from there, out of a hotel room. You could write it out all day you want. You can do that too. You can get less money when it goes to auction than with a cash offer most of the time. And there's a lot of unknowns, and maybe it turns into a REO, which basically the bank's going to own it, and then you basically don't know what you're going to get in equity. Maybe they sell it really quick for a cash sale, fire sale, and even less than I'm going to offer you. It depends on what you want to do and what situation you want from there. That's what I've seen. Usually people don't like that, but those are the options. They can also rent it out. I'm not a big fan of saying that. I've never had a seller be okay with that. Sometimes they could rent out, but they don't want to deal with it. I'm telling you, they want to get another place. So those are options, but you could put rented out on there. Not the biggest fan of that. So with pre-foreclosures, you're going to get 3 huge common objections. And these common objections are going to be, number 1, hey, I'm going to get a loan mod and I don't need to deal with you. I got this all taken care of, right? My cousin Jeff, who's studying at, Coastal State, law school, told me I could get a loan modification. I'm done. I'm good. I don't have to deal with you. So that's great. Put up some statistics for the state of how many loan mods actually get accepted and actually go through. I'm telling you right now, you could offer to help the seller with the loan mod. I just think it's too much work. Let them deal with it. You can actually create a contract pending if a loan mod doesn't go through. So you can have a contract that you can actually buy it if a loan mod doesn't go through. Now, if the loan mod goes through, then that contract's null and void. You can write that pretty specifically and create your own clause with that. Have a title company help you out with that with your certain state. Every state's different, obviously. Another common objection is say, hey, Zach, I appreciate it, but, I haven't had a job in 4 years, but you know what now? I'm going to get a job now. I'm going to get a job and I'm going to fix it. Buddy, I always say this in my head, like, you haven't got a job in 4 years and now you're going to get a job? Are you kidding me? Usually that's not going to happen. They're just trying to get you out of their hair. Last one here is Zach, you offer me 150,000 for this, or 140, and let's say the house is worth 200 and it needs work. My house is worth way more. Okay, we'll go list the property. Oh, I don't want to deal with a realtor, but my house is worth more. Okay. Well, why don't you just wait till the foreclosure auction? Oh, I don't want to get a foreclosure on my record. What do you want, right? I get that objection all the time, especially during this market with our, we deal with it. Oh, my house is worth more money. Well, go sell it yourself then. Do a for sale by owner. See what, your offer's your offer. And you want to make some money, but you don't want to screw the seller at all in the deal. So that's really something you got to understand too. Now, the next part here is, remember guys, I've said this a million times and I will continue to keep saying this, but you cannot force the seller to do something they don't want to do. What do I mean by this? If the seller does not want to sell the property to you and they want to have their head in the sand and they just want the thing to go to foreclosure, even if you know it's not in their best interest, you got to let them fail. And they'll call you back 3 days before the auction crying. And it's going to be heartbreaking for you because you know that you could have helped that seller out. Just know if you can just tell the seller all the options and they deal with it and they want to keep going through the process, you're fine. Just understand, a lot of your sellers are going to be unreasonable here and there's nothing you can do. And it sucks. But if you have helped the seller out, you give them the options and you try to help, that's all you can do. You're not going to get every pre-foreclosure lead, but there's a good amount that you'll get deals from. Now, this kind of brings us back to if you're doing creative financing with this, or the seller's like, I don't know how much the deal, I don't know how much the payoff is. Maybe it's a probate and, the heir has stopped doing payments because they don't have money for it. And maybe they're 3 months behind now. And you're like, well, how much is the mortgage for the house? And they're like, oh, I have no idea. You could actually do this, especially with an older seller, if you have the family's permission, obviously, but you can actually have the seller call the bank and give you temporary authorization to get the payoff interest rates. So you understand the PITI, that's a little more advanced term for creative financing, but that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, costs like that. So you can get that. But you can get a third-party authorization form. Really depends. Each bank's different. So you can actually see how much the equity is. So if you have to understand, hey, is my offer even give you any equity for the house? You can understand that. I think it's pretty important. Now, this is another situation hey, what if the auction date is going on? And let's kind of break this down. So let's say there's an auction date already set. And let's say the seller calls you 5 days before the auction or 7 days before the auction, right? Or maybe even 3 days. I've had sellers call me the day of the auction or the day before. Or honestly, the night before at 11 p.m., right? Always used to take those calls. Those are fun ones, especially on a Saturday night. Nothing more I'd rather be doing on a Saturday night about 2 years ago than answer a call like that and try to help the seller out. But if you're in the foreclosure auction process and there's 3 days left and you actually want to save the deal, you can actually stop foreclosure with this process in some state. This is a Hail Mary. For all my football people out here who understands what a Hail Mary is, there's a 5% chance, 10% if you're lucky, maybe for the 30-yard line, that that's going to be a successful play you're going to do. And this is kind of the play that's going to have maybe a 5 to 10% success rate. But that means if you have 10 of these calls 7 days before an auction and they're all in different states and you do this, maybe a 5 to 10, maybe get a deal or two out of that, right? 20, you might get a deal out of that. And that's going to help you out. So this is kind of the Hail Mary situation. So I have this stinking huge camera in the way, but basically this is risky, but there's really no risk for you. This is risky if it gets accepted, but the option to stop the foreclosure is to actually sign a contract with the seller for a price, go to the bank, specifically the attorney for the bank, and basically, hey, this is a purchase and sale agreement. I know I don't want you to go through the whole process. I know it's expensive. Here is a purchase and sale. We can close on this date. Can we get an extension? Or, can we just get this an extension for it or forbearance for this and get it actually extended a little more? Sometimes it works. A lot of the time it doesn't. But I've had this actually accepted before, and it works pretty well. So this brings us back. So we can do that too. It's a whole different ball of wax, but you can do that. Hopefully you guys are learning a little more about this process. Next here is like what marketing channels work for pre-foreclosures. And in my opinion, there's basically 4. And between you and me, if you actually want to become successful with this, there's really 2. So number 1, you can cold call pre-foreclosures. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, cold calling pre-foreclosures stink. Okay. You know me. I love cold calling. Cold calling, I'm a huge fan of cold calling. I can tell you right now, cold calling is not good for pre-foreclosures. Just think of the people in a pre-foreclosure. They're probably not paying their credit card bill. They probably got loan companies calling them, financial service companies calling them. They're all calling them like crazy. They're probably getting 3, 4, 5 calls a day because they're behind on payments. They're not paying anything. Last thing they want to do is get a random phone call from somebody. They're probably not going to answer it. Cold calling have had the least success rate with pre-foreclosures because of this, and I just don't think they're the best. Now, the next part here is SMS text blasting. A little more success because people still read the text, and maybe you can get a hold of them there. But truly, the top 2 ones are going to be reverse drawing for dollars and door knocking. Reverse drawing for dollars is going to be the process of us actually getting a list of like 50 pre-foreclosures in a weekend, right? Getting a yellow sticky note and saying, hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question. Please call me back, and then put your phone number there. Then you're going to stick the sticky note on the front door or put it on the windshield and just walk away. You're not even door knocking. You know, none of the stress of that. And what you do is they're going to call you back. Like they're going to give you a call back. And they're going to say, hey, who is this? What do you want? Boom. You got the seller on the phone. Perfect, right? That's the point. And because you got to get in front of these people in person so you can actually go and actually help them. And you just want to go out there and try to help sellers out. Hey, I was in the neighborhood and we were just putting them around properties around the area. We're actually looking to buy some more properties for cash. If that's something you're interested in, we'd love to help. But yeah, we're just looking to buy some houses for cash. I know people go to the I'm a debt servicing consulting company. You buy houses for cash, but I can help anyone in any situation. Well, I am looking to sell it because, I'm in a situation where I want to get rid of the house. They might not even tell you the situation. It was like, oh, I know you're a pre-foreclosure. Do not say that. You will not have success. Now, the next one's door knocking. It's the best one. It's not the most fun. It's not practical. I'll tell you, reverse drawing for dollars between you and me. Door knocking, I've door knocked pre-foreclosures. They're not fun. I'm just telling you, like it gets old pretty quick. Some people can do it. I can do it. The sticky note's better just because of how many no's you get, and it's annoying. It's a waste of time. If I had 100 door knocks, that's an all day thing. I do sticky notes all day, right? And I get them on the front of the phone. I have to deal with confrontation, right? Creepy people, I knock on the door. Reverse drawing for dollars is probably gonna be my favorite one. Door knocking, if you want that, if you have 50 and I have to get a deal from that, door knocking is going to be the best. And door knocking, I've done so many approaches with it. At the end of the day, I've done it as a 18-year-old. I've done it as a 21-year-old actually, because I did a door knocking video, but I didn't get any yeses, so we didn't release the video on it. But I did like 20. But what I can tell you is, door knocking, you're just going to knock on the door for pre-foreclosure. Say, hey, I was actually in the area and I'm actually looking to buy some more properties for cash. So I was just seeing if you would look to sell this one. This seems like something that'd be pretty good. You can do that. Or, hey, Mr. Seller, or whatever, the owner here. Are you the owner of this? Had a quick question. I work for a company that is looking to buy more rental properties or buy more properties. Whatever your cash buyer MO is, flip houses. And I was seeing if that's something you'd be interested in. I can give you his information. You can do that. I like the good cop, bad cop. Hey, my boss is making me door knock. And just use the cash buyer as your boss or something. So they're not like, you're just going after because like you just don't want something screwing at you. If you do it, because I'm an employee for something, they're usually more sympathetic for you than anyone else. So it's a little better. Now, reverse drawing for dollars, the sticky note's the best because it seems personal. Toyna kind of brings us up, do you leave door hangers? I want it. Door hangers seem less personal. And most people just see that as annoying marketing. I do the sticky notes just because it seems more personal and they're handwritten. That's what I've seen. Now, this brings us back to the wholesaling pre-foreclosure process. So we do the door knocking. They say yes. We get a contract signed, go to the title company, bring cash buyer through, we assign it, close. We have to understand with cash buyers is they have to close extremely quick. So you have to have cash buyers. You probably have to sell that property at a bigger discount than if it was a regular wholesaling deal. Most people understand this. But this is basically the process where, pre-foreclosure, we pull the list, we market the sellers, we get the property under contract, we work specifically with the title company. They're going to be our biggest help with this one. This is why when you're looking for a title company, you got to make sure they're okay with pre-foreclosures. We're going to sign this deal to a cash buyer, and then boom, we're going to close. That is the wholesaling real estate process, guys. Remember, for pre-foreclosures, you get the deal under contract, you wholesale to a cash buyer within that time frame, and you're good to go. That is the wholesaling real estate process with pre-foreclosures. Cash buyer is pretty simple. Go through freewholesaling.com. You don't go through it. But what I can tell you is that's what I've seen. That is my guide for pre-foreclosures. I want to dedicate the next how long you want to break this down. And I'm actually got some interesting comments here, so I want to break those down too. And I really want to break down some of the questions you guys have about pre-foreclosures, wholesaling them, scripts, whatever you guys want. I'm here to help. The one thing I want to say though too is let's bring this question up from Jeff, because this is actually kind of interesting when he said, you can file this. I've seen this. I'll give you my opinion on it. Reason why I didn't mention this, but you actually bring it up, so I think it's kind of interesting. You say you can file a skeleton bankruptcy to stop a sale. That's true. It works most of the time if you help them buy, if you want them to buy time, and you can wholesale the deal. Jeff, that's a great strategy. It's kind of an old school strategy. We've actually done this a couple times. Here's the issue with a skeleton, mostly a fake bankruptcy to buy more time. A lot of laws are being in place right now, especially with the panoramic. All I can say, but the pandemonium going on. A lot of laws are being in place now where if you fraudulently do a bankruptcy, you can face legal action. So I've kind of stayed away from that. But that's what I've seen. So appreciate everyone giving the love. Dan says, thanks for the video. Good job. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. If you get any value out of this video, do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button, subscribe. I'm here to help the people out. That's what I'm doing. Perfect timing, brother. I'm currently in the process with the seller. Guys, hop on every Thursday. Go to the Wholesaling House for Real Facebook group, the largest wholesaling group by active members. Currently right now, I believe. And I'm 90% sure, because I can't see other people's, but I know by new members coming in, we're the top group on Facebook, because we're, we give the most value, obviously. But thanks, Justin. I appreciate it. And hop on there every Thursday. Talk to me about the seller situation. I love talking to you one-on-one for free. Like, that's what I do. So let's break it down. So let's bring it from the top of all the questions we got. I'm excited for this, guys. I love it when someone gives me a question, I can actually help them out with the process. I'm sorry if this seemed a little complicated for you guys, but that's the honest truth. Guys, freewholesaling.com actually has everything you need to know about wholesaling too. That is my free wholesaling course. I'll tell you. So what's up, guys? PPC, waiting for it. Telling you, awesome. Appreciate it. What's up, guys? Betty, I love it. That's true. I paid so much for so many fake gurus, but Zach and his pops are the real deal. Betty, that means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's get it. Let's see. Who's sleeping at 5? A lot of people are sleeping at 5. They got to get out of the bed, These gurus be on something, I swear. Facts. BJX says, I'm listening to this in my bed right now. Hopefully this song's changed it up. But I'm telling you, pre-foreclosures are great deals. Love the intro as always. Makes my day. Awesome. Peter gives me a question. I'm not going to mention these people. But quote unquote, these people say to pull pre-foreclosures, then door knock them. Do you roll like that out of curiosity? I don't think I will roll with that, specifically saying pre-foreclosures. But what I can tell you is I think reverse trying for dollars is better. And that's what I've seen. Yo, I need to get that song to start my day. Guru's charging $8K for jack squat. are probably napping right now. Oh, they're sleeping on it, you know. That's the best way to get, what's the best way to get leads? So if you know the best way to get leads, again, it's going to be from your county's clerk of the court. Public records, if you just go through your public records or just go to your clerk of the court in person, that's the best way to get wholesaling leads. Hands down, every single time. That's amazing. Awesome. Brother Zach, how much would you pay for an acquisitions manager? I would probably pay about 10 to 15% for an acquisitions manager. I think you got to pay for an acquisitions manager if you're actually going to hire one. You need one that's really good. So I'd say about 15%, and they have to show what's up on that. Like probate, you need to use empathy when reaching these pre-foreclosure clients, hands down. Guys, you need to show empathy with your sellers. Empathy, compassion, and just a care of actually helping them out. That is the difference between you having success with beating your competition and not. That is my number one tip for success in this business for wholesaling starting out. Go out there and actually have empathy, just so much passion for this business to help people out, rapport and compassion. That is how you beat other people out in this business, and that's how you become successful. The objections and what HUD is. So I brought over the objections. HUD is basically a statement, a financial statement. PBG, fitness, finally caught alive. What's up? What is up? Is this Palm Beach Gardens? That'd be cool. I don't know where though. Loan mod defaults and forbearance are going to hit a cliff starting in March. That's what we've seen. Is it going to get extended? I don't know. I'm not the expert on that, so I really can't give my opinion on it, but it could be. Biblical argument, you reap what you sow. 100%. Let's see here. So Sandra says, my concern is speed with getting a buyer. So that's why you have to market really hard for cash buyers. Again, if you go through freewholesaling.com and you learn actually how to actually pull cash buyers on Facebook groups and actually cold call the for rents, and you get enough cash buyers, you'll find the ones that can actually buy really fast. So if your concern is finding the right cash buyer that will actually buy properties cash with proof of funds, go through freewholesaling.com. And also, most importantly, you have to vet them and actually talk to them and see when the fastest they can close on the property is. Make sure it's all cash, no hard money. This is a cash money. This is a cash buyer, not a hard money buyer. You're the man. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. Screenshot of that. I just got the pre-foreclosure under contract today. Zach, you're the best. Woo! Love seeing that. Gets me excited. Jeff's got some great stuff here. You know, I jump on a 3-way call with the lender. Go through a list of questions to ensure we can transact quickly and accurately. Perfect. People think it's really confusing and scary to go out here and actually talk to a bank. They want to they want to get their bottom line. Going through that entire process is expensive. They'd rather help you out and deal with you. So awesome, Jeff. I've called a few pre-foreclosures that are sometimes not the easiest and in denial. I'll keep trying though. That's why I told you pre-foreclosures for cold calling are terrible. That's why I prefer the sticky notes way better, especially because you actually drive for dollars while doing it. So it's great. Keep calling. Every no is just one call closer to a yes, hands down. Is it too late for wholesales if PropStream shows the pre-foreclosure as auction? No, but remember, it's kind of what we said, that auction date's set. That's kind of outside the window, but you can still save it. Okay, Aquifer says, when pulling pre-foreclosures on PropStream, should we focus on certain length of home ownership and certain age of property? Let's see here. When pulling pre-foreclosures on PropStream, should we focus on a certain length of home ownership? I don't really think the age of home ownership really matters too much. Like between you and me, I don't think that's a big deal. Rick, Zach, I'm Zach, but I respect everything about you. Thank you so much for providing all the vital info, of course. Hey, Zach, I'm doing RVMs. My biggest struggle is not having the property info on the spot when they call me with the RVM saying, you called me, what property is it? I'm not... Sergio, you know I'm not the biggest RVM fan, so I would say we've called a lot of properties. Are you interested in selling it? What's the address? I called a lot of people today. I did 100+ calls. And let them give you the address. Hey, Zach, is it okay to provide an offer over the phone without actually going to the property, or do you recommend making an appointment to see the property, then make the offer? I would always see the house first. Make sure you qualify the seller before you give an offer, but at minimum, if you're virtual wholesaling, make sure you actually get pictures of the house before you give an offer. I've seen virtual wholesalers actually just get it under contract, then look at it from there. I like doing everything in person, so I'd rather go in person before I give the offer, because you don't want the seller to go shop around with other people with that offer. You want to make sure they actually can make a decision, a yes no decision, when you give them the offer. If you just give them a random offer, they can say a maybe, which will kill your deal. How are you able to speak to the lender on the owner's behalf to give them a loan mod? Like I said, you get that authorization, and it works pretty well. Louise says, are you able to get a restraining order to stop a foreclosure to extend the auction a week or two? I don't know. A restraining order. You do a fake bankruptcy, which I'm not a big fan of. You could send that purchase and sale agreement to the bank's attorney. That's sort of what I've seen. Let's see here. Aaron's got a great question here. How do we figure out what to offer for land if there's no land comps in the area? Great question, Aaron. What I'm going to tell you hands down right now is, if you can go to the land cash buyer, give them the address and say, hey, I don't know how much this property is worth. How much would you buy this piece of land for? And ask them, because that's how you're selling it. You're selling the contract to the person. You're selling the contract to the cash buyer. So whatever they want to pay for it, reverse engineer it from there. This is the best way to do it. So say, hey, this is half an acre. I'll give you $15,000 for it, Aaron. Guess what? The seller wants to sell for 10. Lock it up for 10. You know you're going to make $5,000 on that deal. Boom, boom, boom. Manuel says, what's the name of your Facebook group? It's Wholesaling Houses for Real. We're getting like 14. What's the amount of people we're getting there per month? We're getting like, I think we're roughly getting like 6,000 people a month in that group, which is like insane. The reason why it's so popular right now is just because it's the only Facebook group I've seen that isn't spam filled. Because either you get a Facebook group that's full of spam, like those bots, which bots are always on there, but we kick them out within like 2 or 3 hours. But the issue is there's no groups allowed. And also, we actually, basically, you have to get your post approved, obviously. But a lot of the places where you have to get post approved, they'll approve like 2 posts a day. We'll approve like 50 of them. I mean, there's 35 new posts that went through, and I think we released like 20 of them today. But like, great questions here. This is it. You can sell your actual cash buyer, post your deals here. But this is Wholesaling Houses for Real. Go to the About page. Roughly, we had about 1,400 this week, because add extra 87 plus people. So I don't know, 1,450 people join it. So it's a huge mastermind. It's the biggest mastermind in the country. Get a ton of people in there. A lot of great ones. We got our cash buyers group here. It's to deal in Pensacola right here. You can deal with pretty cool. But basically, this is Wholesaling Houses for Real. Let me post it in the comments for you guys to see it. It's awesome. So I don't really need to promote it. It's got a ton of people in there. But yeah, that's the name of my group. I love it. It's the largest Facebook group by people coming in. There's like no dead people in there. So it's all active people. It's great. A lot of people giving a lot. Like, there's a lot of people making 6 figures in that mastermind, and they love talking to you guys. Great networking opportunities. I tell everyone to hop on there. But we're getting a lot of people hopping on there. We're getting a lot of people hopping on the YouTube channel now. Specifically because I started releasing TikToks in December. And now all these new people from TikTok. The problem with TikTok I've seen is they're learning from the worst gurus in the game on TikTok. People that actually don't know this business and absolutely just trash. trash information they give on wholesaling, and they were learning from them and getting frustrated and all quitting. And TikTok didn't like that. So what I did was I basically made TikTok, like I think I released a ton a day on there, but like I started sharing real info, and then all those people are hopping on their Facebook group and on here, and there are a lot of brand new people. So we're just trying to teach as many people coming in. We're getting a lot more newbies than we had the past 3 months. And a lot of these people are going in the group and asking questions and actually learning rapidly with this mastermind in there. So it's pretty going. It's all for free, guys. It's absolutely all free. There's no like sales gimmicks on here. I call it a mastermind because it is a mastermind. It's the only free mastermind in the wholesaling real estate game. So pretty cool. Calling foreclosure list today, need motivation. Call the pre-foreclosure, not the foreclosure list. That'll be a big deal for you. I do it after the lender call and we have a deal for sure and on a sale date days away. We never attempt fraud. Jeff, I'm not saying you're attempting fraud. I'm just saying, like, if you do a bankruptcy just to avoid it, some states you get in trouble for. I'm not calling it fraudulent, but some states look at it as fraudulently, so that's why we kind of get away from it. Let's see here. What is up? Is direct mail marketing good for pre-foreclosures? No. I didn't mention it. It's too expensive and the ROI is just not there. A lot of the sellers throw those away because they get so many behind payment things on there. I don't think it's a good one to be going after. How do you find a buyer for commercial development? Same way you do it for really anything. Go to the commercial buildings that are being developed and actually call them. That's the best way to find commercial buyers. ListRI.com, PropStream's great too, but like go to the commercial developments in your city and area and call the people developing and say, hey, do you want to buy more? Boom. Easiest way to do it. I already answered your question, Aaron. What do you think about a short sale? Realtor comment on my comment I made earlier this week. Yeah, Chris, I mentioned this a little earlier on here, but it's hard because properties are appreciating at an insane rate that there's probably too much equity for a short sale for most of these. So I'd be careful with that. I'm telling you. So some do work, obviously. This is something that'll be more in the future we'll be talking about, especially if interest rates make real estate change. If inflation truly gets curbed or not, I don't know. So I'll probably know within 6 months what's going to happen. But we really got to see what interest rates are going to do with the economy. So I would say if it's like an insane negative equity, sure, you can try it. I just feel like it's too much of a hassle right now, especially for wholesaling. RM says thousands of coaching programs out there and is too much money. And here you are helping us for free. Thank you. Appreciate you. Always here to help everyone else for free. Who's paying the seller the $100, $1,000? No one's paying. The cash buyer will pay the seller at the end of the day, technically. No, Trevor, no one-on-ones. Those are on Thursdays. What's the best way to skip trace? TruePeopleSearch.com or batch leads. Been cold calling for a week now and got 3 solid leads already. Good job. Appreciate that. It's awesome. Love and appreciate you and your dad's content, Zach, of course. Seminole County makes it a matrix code to get tax delinquents and list pendants. They don't want to give you the leads. Well, get a notice of default. Also, go in person and request it and call and ask. Also, you can just get PropStream if you have to. But usually there's free ways to always get it. Also, quick question. I've noticed a lot of owner-occupied properties in my area are on the federal DNC list. Should I still target them? I don't scrub the federal DNC. So if you are, then I could legally tell you not to, but a lot of people don't. So that's all I'm going to tell you. All right, we're going to do a quick audio check here. Just checking the audio. All right, looks good. Always just making sure the stream's fine. Making sure we're all good there. Ready to start taking action. Wholesaling is PropStream still a good app. ListRI.com, great app. Love it. SMS.com is great too for pulling it. So ultimately up to you. So you use listrei.com for PropStream, SMSAct.com. I recommend you use both trials because they're both free. Batch and PropStream aren't happy. I think I'm the only person that will give you a code for both of them. I'm pretty sure just because I have a big enough following where I don't think they're happy that I do that, but I think it's the only way to do it because I want you guys to have free trials for both and then see which one you like better. You get free list pulls with SMSAct.com for batch leads, which I think is kind of cool. And then PropStream, you get it free for 7 days, which is nice too. So try them both out, see which one you like. I'll promote them both and use the money to go buy a camera to flex on the gurus in 12K. Maybe I'll buy a 12K camera next. I don't know. I got the 8K one going right now. But I'm telling you guys right now, use whatever one you want. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I make enough money wholesaling. But what I can tell you is I got a big enough following where I can give links for both, which is nice. So use whatever one you want. But if you are going to use batch, I would use code Zach instead because that gets you 50% off the entire thing, which will be cheaper than the 5,000. Bro, love the spirit. You're changing lives. Awesome. Appreciate that. Martin says, what's up, Zach? In the process of choosing a title company to work with, and one of them said they do assignments, but they disclose everything to the buyer and seller. Is that normal? Yeah, that's pretty normal. Most title companies will not do a blind HUD like that. So I'd say it's pretty normal. Just see if they've done assignments before and they do a lot of them. And just see other title companies that are a little better. Let me know what market you're in because I think a lot of people could give you it. Is the panoramic, Justin knows what's up. Is the panoramic affecting pre-foreclosures? Yes, a lot of states are different of how they're doing it. That's why I think you gotta look at your state's laws and see what's going on with them. But for most of them, they're going pretty smooth. Like the first month or two of the panoramic, things were different. Emergency orders, but even like California, they're starting to ease up on them a little. Manuel says, what do you write on the sticky note when you're reverse drawing for dollars? So what I wrote on the sticky note is, hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question. Please give me a call back and write your phone number. I say that to pique the curiosity. You want to get a call back. That's really the main goal of this. Not to close the seller over the marketing or say what you do. That's what I write on the sticky note when I'm doing the reverse drawing for dollars method. Hey, Zach, I submitted my land deal on your JV site. I haven't gotten a call yet. Let me know how long it's been. Usually it takes about a day, but yeah, I'll go check. I can go check it too. Hey, Zach, who gives the purchase and sale agreement to an end buyer? Me or the end buyer sends one. So you do the purchase and sale agreement, and then you do the assignment of contract to the cash buyer. On that purchase and sale that you send to the title company yourself, and then you send the assignment of contract to the title company. Go through freewholesaling.com if that confuses you. It explains the entire process pretty easily from there. I'm doing this virtually. Do you ask the seller to provide you with pictures? Yes, or you can pay someone to go out there and take pictures of it. Corey says, if a house has land but is deeded separately, do I need to fill out? So the house has land is deeded separately. Do I need to fill out separate agreements for the house and land? Working on a deal now and has whole land is included, but in a separate parcel plot. If there's two deeds, then yes. It depends on how many deeds. If it's all in one deed, sure, but if they're deeded separately, they're going to be two separate ones. That's what I've seen. I would not combine them. I think keeping them separate is going to help you with the cash buyer even more. And you can sell both of them to the same buyer. So it's perfect. Okay, we got a good question here. What are your thoughts on RVM versus SMS versus straight up cold calling? The king of this is going to be cold calling. SMS number 2 and RVM 3. RVM's already basically becoming illegal in Florida, and it's in a gray area legally with TCPA laws. So I would steer clear of that. SMS, you have to manually send, so they're fine. I like cold calling and SMS together. That's my favorite. If you had to do one cold calling straight up, SMS is probably the easiest, and RVM, I would just skip that. That's my opinion. It's for a double closing. All righty. I always get this. Do you need an inspector to see the property before you give a contract for wholesaling? No, you're the inspector. If there has to be an inspector, the cash buyer will inspect it with their inspector. It's not your problem. Malasia Evans says, "Hi Zach, what's the best markets to target?" So if you're doing virtual wholesaling, I have seen that low ARV markets, roughly not too low, but like ARV markets between 100, probably between $50,000 to $200,000 ARV is probably the best one. If you Google Zillow median price points per county or city, it's the southeast of the United States, which is the best. Also, I'd put the Midwest, like Ohio, Tennessee is one of my favorite states out there. North Carolina, South Carolina, like Detroit, Michigan's a really good one. Dayton, Ohio, Richmond, Virginia. These are the areas that I really like. So I would consider that area. If you want to go out west, I've seen like the Valley in California do really well, like that Fresno region. The Fresno region, I would kind of skip Phoenix. Like those are sort of the markets I would target. Texas is really good too. Just understand, I'd probably, if you're brand new, probably skip the non-disclosure states. Nando, I'm not a big fan of direct mail for pre-foreclosures. Justin says, TikTok brought me here. Oh, snap. TikTok in the house. Justin's everything I was talking about. I love it. Kip Stevens says, offer them options when building rapport. Number one, personal loan, loan mod, sub 2, bankruptcy, so on. I would not even offer a subject to. Sellers don't even know what that is. I would offer terms, payments. Make it a lot more simpler. Can you own a refinanced their loan when they are in foreclosure? If you're doing a HELOC or a loan mod, sure. Like I've said before, it's way tougher to do. Glad I didn't fall in the guru trap. Awesome, Justin. If you ever want to talk one-on-one, you know where to find me every Thursday, absolutely for free. I'm starting a bandit sign campaign this weekend, Zach. Corey, I love the first sentence of this. This is getting me excited. I hope to get some warm leads to fill my pipeline. I'm wanting to get two closings per month. I'm on track. I owe it all you and Rick. Corey's already closed a deal. I think the second deal possibly over there in Tennessee. So Corey's the man. Love it, dude. Malaysia says the best way to pull a good pre-foreclosure, either going on public records and looking up the notice of defaults, or going on like PropStream, ListREI.com, SMSAct.com, one of those paid services, actually pulling the pre-foreclosures from there. What's up? Trevor, love it. What is up? Trevor says, I have a potential first deal. The Zestimate is $165,000 and PropStream's $145,000. She owes $80K and wants $50K to be put down if she moves. Then I get under contract for $140,000. She wants $50K. Okay, so that means she wants $130,000. Wait. To put down. So if she wants $50,000 and she owes $80,000, I might be having a brain fart here, but that's $130,000. Get on a contract for $130,000. How are you updating properties on PropStream for foreclosure like old and outdated? PropStream's really good for the pre-foreclosure because they just find a notice of default and then boop, pre-foreclosure. Foreclosures they're a little weirder on that. So I kind of use it just for pre-foreclosures. Usually when they say there's an auction date though, usually there is an auction date. Julian says, Zach, is wholesaling really the way to go? There are many people who are experienced in wholesaling say it's not the way, and some wholesalers are going to drop shipping instead. Man, I am so confused. Julian, I'm more confused for you. I'm telling you, anyone getting a drop shipping ain't going to stay in there. Okay. Wholesaling is the only side hustle I've seen that has been here for decades. Look at this. This book, How Real Estate Fortunes Are Made. This is a book. I love this book. This is a book. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see it here. This is a book written in 1972. This wholesaling stuff is super old. Like, this is when the Dolphins won a Super Bowl. Like, this is how old this book is, okay? Like, I'm telling you right now, this is a side hustle that's been proven for centuries. A ton of wholesalers getting a drop shipping is a lie. Maybe it's because you're hanging with the wrong crowd, but the people that are successful in wholesaling do not do drop shipping. They might try a cute like Amazon FBA type thing, but I'm telling you right now, this business, it ain't a side hustle, dude. It is a full-time business. You can do it part-time, but it is a full-time hustle. This is not like a passive income strategy. Wholesaling wins every day of the week there. I will find you. Wholesaling is just a bigger, it's a huge industry. And for more people to actually get it going, they do better. Peter says, do you ever get followed by people mad about you taking pictures of the house or pulling in the front of it, driving for deals? No, if you say that you work for somebody who told you to. If you say you're the one doing it, you could possibly get in trouble. So I skip that. Okay, Okafor says, if there's still a mortgage balance remaining, the buyer should pay that, right? No, the buyer, if let's say there's 50K owed and it's selling for 100, that means 50K is going to go to the bank and 50K is going to go to the seller. How to wholesale condemned property? Like any other property. I don't know if you can go through it though, but you can see pictures of the inside or, look to the outside, and if the buyer knows what's up, they do it. I'm not a big Propelio fan. I've just not seen the data is this good. I know which each data's third-party service is, and I'm not a big fan of it. I've heard good stuff about Property Radar, though. I've always heard good stuff about that, too. So I haven't looked at it because they don't have it for a lot of states. Psyche did it, says, what percentage of talking to people should I aim for when cold calling? 100%. Maybe you get a hold of 10 to 15, though. It really depends on the list. Can you refinance land if you turn into a trailer park? Yes, if you can prove you get rental income for it. A lot of the times you possibly could. But it depends. I don't know why you want to refinance it, though. Barbara says, I'm working with 100 pre-foreclosures. Wish us luck. I'm wishing you luck. Hey, Zach, how are you? How would you gauge a price for vacant land with approved plans to build a multi-unit? Really, I would approach land the same way. I would sell to a cash buyer with the plans in place, right? The plans are probably worth something. And then go out there and try to sell to the cash buyer who's going to develop it, right? Like, I would only approach it with a different type of buyer that actually do something with that land. Or if a buyer doesn't care about the plans and they want to do something else with it, build a trailer park on it, let them do it, right? We're selling the contract for it. So, whatever's going to make us the most money, right? Let's see here. Corey says, if a seller wants to include a separate plot of land adjacent to a house with a sale, do I need to fill out separate agreements, land, home, deed separately? Wait. Yeah, I think I already answered this. If separate deeds, you're going to have to do separate deals for it. What's up, Zach? In your opinion, is a market like Miami worth starting out in? If that's where you live, then yes. Best way to find someone to double close? Find a good title company. The best way to find a good title company is calling the title companies in your area, talking to successful wholesalers in your area, and seeing where they're actually using title companies at. They're more willing to give that to you than what markets are best. So that's how I'd find a good title company that are going to be really good for double closings. What type of contract? Just do the contract at freewholesaling.com. That'd be the best one. Ed says, do you recommend a good dialer and CRM to use? Is $4 better than 10 due to hangups? Also, do you recommend calling after you text? The best dialer I found is ZachDialer.com, 3-line dialer. Mojo's another really good one. Podio, I use CRM, I use Podio. I would prefer 3 over 10 just because of how the new algorithms are for 10 DLC. 3 lines is going to be better than 10. I recommend calling after texting. Yes, I prefer calling before texting and then texting after. Oh, this is a good one. What's list is more effective, pre-probate or probate? Pound for pound, probate is way more effective than pre-probate. Owner is deceased. Property looks completely abandoned. What should I do? Contact the heirs on the property and get the thing wholesaled. Get under contract. All right, AO, I'll go get somebody in contact with you there. Corey says, how do you find probate PR air info? And the court will only give names of deceased and date probate was opened. I've been using TrueBill Search, but would like better data. So the court will only give names of deceased and the date probate was ended. So I would use like a white pages because they actually have relatives information. That's where I'd go if you're trying to do it for free. They have relatives info, and TrueBillSearch.com has relative info too. So I'd find the deceased person, then click the relatives, and then go from there. Amika says, how much time do you spend cold calling new leads versus recalling uncontacted leads? I don't even recall uncontacted leads. What I basically do with those leads is I just put them in the big list for the VAs to cold call after. Let's see here. Also, what's a quick way to calculate rehab costs? If you use listREI.com, they have like a blue hammer on there. It's just pretty nice. The best way to do rehab costs is just go to the house and figure out what the cost of things are. That's kind of the best way I could explain that. But yeah, that's the quickest way, in my opinion, to calculate rehab costs. Just find the cost of new flooring, AC, roofing, things like that. I'm in Texas and struggling to close a deal. I'm in Texas. Drive for dollars. Texas is amazing for driving for dollars. How many calls does VA make every day individually? Depends on the list. I'll say at least 5 hours a day. I'm doing business in Jacksonville. Hit me up if you're looking for a partner. Awesome track hawk. All right, let's load this up. Okay. Julian says, hey, Zach, is wholesaling really the way to go? All right, I already answered that one. What's the owner? What is the owner's deceased property looks completely abandoned? What should I do? Go to TrueBill Search and go to the relatives. Close 2 this month with 2 more appointments this week. 20K in assignments. The second deal is tax delinquency. Corey, I love it. RM says I bought a program for 2K. I don't know how to help you there. That's not good. Malaysia says, I've been trying to get virtual. Can you give me great markets to target? I'm currently in Jacksonville, but I'd love to. Drive for dollars in Jacksonville. That's the best one I can do. I'm in Central California. Thanks. Beautiful, Martin. That's a great one. Nice bookshelf. Top 3 recommendations. This is a small bookshelf. I got a bigger one, but top 3 is Awaken the Giant Within from Tony Robbins. So I'll just give them to you right now. Let's see here. Which one should I do too? Whatever. Screw it, right? So we'll put top 3. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. A great book for everyone starting out, you know. Traction from Gino Wickman. Great book on actually how running the business. And number 1, Awaken the Giant Within from Tony Robbins. I think I love the book. So that would be what I would say. Put this one down here. Thanks, man, of course. Strive and Brian says, I have 2 potential properties right now. Awesome. Hey, family, this is Emilio. How are you doing? I'm doing great. RM says, I bought a program from blank. I'm not going to put it up because I don't want to promote them for $2,000 and basically a TikTok course. And I find way more information than the paid program and totally free. Thanks again. I appreciate that. I have 2 potential properties. Awesome. Trevor says, when I first said 130, she said 150, but I don't know. I said I'd meet her at 140, but I just hope I can find a buyer because I really like to help her out. Of course. If she wants to get 50 and she out of it and she owes 80, that's 130. So that's what she wants, 130. Do it. I got to this live late, but it's difficult. But it's difficult paperwork when doing sub 2 or just a purchase and sale agreement terms on it. All subject twos are like difficult work. You're going to need a lawyer for a lot of them. You just got to do it the right way. You do not want to be doing it the wrong way. Best days to cold call is Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm telling you right now, if you're having success cold calling, if you want success in your cold calling, that is the perfect schedule for you to cold call. All righty. Mika says, I have a land deal in Annapolis, Maryland. Seller wants $477,000. Recent new build comp sold for 1.1. Will likely build 2,500 square feet property on the lot. Deal or no deal? 380 a square foot. That's pretty good. I would see what a cash buyer for that land is going to pay you, and then go from there and see. Yeah, it seems like a deal, but if your numbers are right. Thanks, man. I'm always learning from you. Appreciate you, bro. Of course, Nolan, appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Seriously, guys, your support means everything for me on here, so I really appreciate it, guys. I'm going to give you a quick second, too. Love you guys showing the love, but guys, do me a huge favor. I'm going to give it a second because I know you guys are just writing notes and stuff. So I want to give you a second here to go smash that like button, especially if you're watching this. Hit that like button. I'm going to give it another 10, 15 seconds. When you're watching this, go to that like button right now and hit that like button. Also, you're crazy if you're not subscribed to me on YouTube. So go to Zach Ginn on YouTube and Flip with Rick on YouTube. Subscribe to both. They both give exclusive content for each. I have videos I release on the Zach Ginn channel that you will not find on the Flip with Rick channel about wholesaling, and then you'll find videos on the Flip with Rick channel with Rick on it that you will not see on the Zach Ginn channel. So you have to be subscribed to both. I'm telling you, it is essential for success. All right. Now that you like this video, we're good to go. Okay, Okafor, what's up? I appreciate all the comments you're giving. Appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. Says, what's the rate for skip tracing if we use your batch leads link? Is it monthly fee? You could do a non-monthly fee. I think it's 15 cents. I think you have to pay, I think it's 29, 39. I go pop it up for you. Let's see here. Pop it up. I think it's gonna be 30. Yeah, 39 for the 14-cent one per month. So you can do without paying for it too. If you use PropStream, I think it's 12 cents, and it just comes with that. Dax1 says, what if the owner's deceased and the property is completely abandoned? Already answered that one. Zach, how's it going? I have a major question. Well, hit me with it. Let's get it. Banks, what's up, Kenneth? Kenneth asks, are banks still doing short sales? Yes, they are. It's kind of hard. Jose says, if you hand dial, will your cell phone get spam? Most likely not. I've seen crazier things, but most of the time you won't get a spam on there. Jose says, what's the best way to get vacant land list? Also, what do you think about call tools? I like call tools. I don't think it's a bad cold calling service at all. Best way to get a vacant land list is through batch or PropStream, whatever one you prefer. It's a little hard to do, like if you use like a tax roll list. So that's what I've seen. Facebook just says for the land and approved plans, they want $300K in New York. So I'm trying to see what's the best way to find the value to see if it's a fair. The best way to find the value is to actually go for a cash buyer for land and see how much they're willing to buy the property for. That's what I've seen is that has the best success possible. Striving Brian says, what's the latest you will make a phone call when cold calling? 7 p.m. I'm telling you right now, 7 p.m. is the best time right here. Let's go here. Alrighty, let's check this out. All right, checking one thing, making sure the stream's all clean. I do this solo, guys, so always checking on that. Let's see. Yep, we're all good. Nando says, if you had a good amount of money to start wholesaling, which list and marketing channel would you get to get the max returns? I'm telling you now, if I started out, I would drive for dollars and I would cold call that list. That is hands down the best ROI in wholesaling real estate. Hands down. Drive for dollars and cold call that list. That's drive around, look for ugly houses, call these people if they want to sell the property. If you want to get the best deals possible, especially starting out, that's what I do. Hands down. I got more money, I'd have other people do it for me and just start scaling it up from there. So I possibly just got, so Facebook user just says, so I possibly just got my first deal, net 10K on vacant land. But here's the deal. He wants to use his own title company versus the one I'd rather use. I have the cash buyer set up to purchase it as well. Thoughts? No. Make sure, just say, hey, my contract does say I have to use my title company on it. You have to use your own title company. It's going to be essential for you having success in this business, especially you have to use one that you're comfortable with, or that deal's probably going to get screwed over. I'm telling you, you use a title company that's in your best interest, not the seller's. Or get like a 30K, get like a 20K reduction on the deal. Like if they have to use it. Great one here from 1ton_Patriot. If you're hand dialing with Google Voice or equivalent, call your cell phone and see if it shows up as spam. Appreciate what you're doing, Zach. You guys are the GOATs. Mark, appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you so much. JC says, call me on any Jacksonville deals. Awesome. Straven Ben says, how do you find owners when PropStream says the owners in LLC are trust? You can skip trace that by the mailing address, or use truepeoplesearch.com, or just search the LLC or trust online. Sometimes you'll find the name on there, and then you can skip trace from there. You just probably got to do extra work for it. AO says, thanks, Zach. I appreciate it, of course. Think and Grow Rich, Power of Your Subconscious Mind, Millionaires, Fastlane are great books as well. Oh, yeah. Spaceman77 says, when should I be contacting a title company? Should I find one and build a relationship with one before I even start cold calling? I would do it wire cold calling. You're still going to take you at least a week to get a deal, so do both while you can. Yeah, I need help closing a deal. Hop on the Thursday calls. I'll just help you close it if you need me to. Tina says, can't cold call and great infos from 5 to 7. Hey, watch the replay. Or ask the question if you have to on the one-on-ones. Yeah. This is just the time that works for me. So that's why I do the lives there. What's the market area ARV range we should be targeting for the best spreads on deals? Best spreads are going to be between 220 to 350. I would say 400 is like the max. Thank you for all the great info. Of course. What's the other YouTube channel, Zach? It's Zach Ginn and then Flip with Rick. Will you eventually teach how to wholesale? I teach wholesaling for land on the bottom at freewholesaling.com. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. Of course. Thank you. All righty. All right. So Russian Eskimo says, what are the best states and price ranges to wholesale at? I'm looking at more red states and Sunbelt states. Any flippers or buy and holds better as cash buyers? So go through my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets. Some are blue states, some are red states. It doesn't really matter too much. Sunbelt probably because that's in the Southeast. Flippers are buy and holds better. I would say new flippers are the best than buy and holds. I'll show you the video too and go show you. Let me show you. All righty. Let's see here. All right, let me show you right here. Okay, so I released this video. I'll put it in the comments for you guys to see. That's my top 25 virtual wholesaling markets, just so Russian Eskimo can see it. Let me share it out with you here. All right, where are we at? So share screen. So this is it right here. Basically Panhandle. I do like Pasco, Clay County. You know, I just share my favorite markets here. You know, it'll be my top 25 markets. You can just hop on there and see it. But yeah, if you're going to choose a market, I'd actually go through there and it'll actually break down it a lot. And that's probably where I'd be closer to. All right. Chase Matthews says, are there any differences in dealing with pre-probate properties opposed to just normal stress properties? Pre-probate, someone's probably unfortunately passed away that owned the property. So you got to deal with that. That's a whole different can of worms, right? So just understand the person living that probably passed away, unfortunately, or the owner of it passed away. So you're going to be dealing with the heirs on the property versus a normal distressed property. Find the deal first or the cash buyer. Should we call realtors from recent flips sold and see if the buyer's interested in our deals, or use Facebook? Do that while doing do both of it, right? Do both at the same time. Usually in the morning, you do the cash buyer like polling because it's not 2 to 7 p.m. and then 2 to 7 p.m. do the cold calling for motivated sellers. That'd be, my opinion, the best one to do. How do I come about telling them that I just want the deal to die because they aren't comfortable using it? How do I go about telling them? I don't want to do the deal. Just tell me you don't do the deal if you don't want to do the deal. Chase says, also, does the title company need to be in the same state as the deal, or does it not matter? It needs to be in the same market and deal as it. I'm telling you right now. So the title company in virtual wholesaling should be in the local place of where you're doing the deal, especially if it's out of state. Especially if the seller wants to go by there and like use it, right? And go by there. All right, answer that one. Let's see here. Facebook user says, just this deal could happen today. I just don't want to make the seller feel sketchy about me wanting to use my title company when he wanted to use his. Well, just say, this is the one that I use. Like, that's it, right? That's who me and my partners are comfortable using. Maximilian says, I saw your video about the worst place to wholesale. I'm surrounded around the Seattle area, right? What are your thoughts? Yeah, Seattle's not the best. What I can tell you really quick is I would avoid Seattle at most costs. I'd probably go a little more south or east where there's cheaper properties. That's what I've seen. Let's see. If you have a market you're steady in, I'd recommend qualifying a couple title companies to have them ready to go before locking up a deal. Only takes an hour or so to find them. I agree. A little more if you want to interview them too. Remember, guys, at freewholesaling.com, we kind of show you actually how to interview them. But yeah, that's probably what I'd be doing. Let's see here. Craig says, just wanted to say thank you for all you do. Your awesome Facebook group. Just wanted to throw out a fun question. All right. If somebody forced you to only use one way to market to get deals, what would you personally choose to use? Try for dollars, cold calling, every day of the week. I would do cold calling as my marketing channel, or I do probates. I'd shoot drawing for dollars because I can scale it up to 7 figures. Probate's kind of hard to do, but that is possible. So that's sort of where I'd be doing. Great question, though. I think that's funny, but appreciate that, Craig. Appreciate that, Craig. Awesome, man. Guys, if you want, join the Facebook group, smash that like button, subscribe. This is where everything's happening in wholesaling, guys. I'm telling you. Okay, Okafor says, is there an advantage to target probate versus pre-probate versus, or vice versa? The advantage of pre-probate is you can get in front of the sellers the wholesalers that only do probate. So probate versus pre-probate. Pre-probate's where the probate process so pre-probate is when the probate process isn't even filed. It's just going off of death records. So you actually get in front of these sellers really quick. The advantage of that is you get to the seller quick, but the disadvantage is it's a little too soon on the process where some of the sellers won't be motivated versus probate where the probate process is filed. They're pretty much ready to go, but everyone everybody sort of has access to that, and you got to deal with realtors and other motivate and other competition. So that's the pro and con for each. I would prefer probate over pre-probate if I had to, but I do both. Nando says, if the buyer defaults on the purchase and sale contract and does not want to go through with a sale, who does the non-refundable EMD go to, the seller or the wholesaler? It goes to you every time. It's not. It is. You make sure it's a refundable deposit. That's what we have there at freewholesaling.com. Make sure it's a refundable deposit. And make sure you go through the contract module in freewholesaling.com. It'll bring it more to light and kind of share like how to do that process. It would be a lot easier, I'm telling you guys, than not. Yeah. The person's in sale. Just remember that that is a refundable deposit. The non-refundable deposit is with the cash buyer. I just know that too. Jesus says, hey, Zach, for marketing, do you think it's a good idea to ask delivery drivers such as Amazon, UPS, FedEx, to offer them 1,000 to 2,000 to find distressed properties only if the deal closes? Yes. Most of the time, they don't want to deal with you, or they don't think you're actually going to do a deal. Unfortunately, that's the truth. I hate to say that, but yeah, that's honestly what's going to happen. So I probably wouldn't. Yeah, that's what I'd say. But hey, if you can, sure. We used to get the delivery drivers to actually do the vacant list before they had like PropStream or ListRI.com or Batch to be doing it. It works pretty well too. Russian Eskimo says, what are small stuff we need to include in the contracts like EMD, inspection, contingency, lockbox? Do we need a lockbox, or can we just show them pictures? Can we show pictures blindly to cash buyer? You're going to need a lockbox or the runner in virtual wholesaling to actually go to the property and actually walk the cash buyer through. A cash buyer needs to see it. Like, they got to see it face to face. Like, they're going to have to see it face to face before they actually go there and look at it. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to do that. Like, especially in virtual, the cash buyer still needs to see it. Let's see. Is it better to get inspection done or get a contractor? But also, I'll get a lockbox if you can. But if they live in the house, I want it. Just trying to look this up. Let's see. Look at this comment here. Is it better to get an inspection done or get a contractor before putting under contract? Do not get a contractor or inspection. The inspection is done by you. There's no inspector at all. The cash buyer technically would be the inspector on this transaction. Let's see. Thank you. Okay. One Patriot. I've been in it 5 months now. I got my first deal 2 weeks ago. Awesome. Love to see it. Chase says, what market do you recommend for a beginner? I'm looking towards Ohio, Florida, Texas, Iowa. Chase, let me know where you're at. I probably prefer your own market, like your home market, but let's kind of see here. I would prefer Ohio or Texas out of those, but it just depends where. Great info, you're the man. What's interesting, vacant and absentee owner, they're basically almost the same. Absentee owner basically is going to be a person that owns the property, but the mailing address is different on it. It basically indicates that's more of an investment property that's vacant versus a vacant, which someone just live in the house and no one's dealing with it. They're basically pretty much the same though. What's the name of your website? Freewholesaling.com, FREEWHOLESALING.com. Freewholesaling.com. How do you get people to do inspections if you're not in the state, or find people to do the job for you? I don't do inspections. I don't know why everyone's getting confused on this. You do not do inspections. You have a cash buyer do pictures on it though. Like that. You'll have people take pictures of the house for you, but you don't do an actual inspection. Those are cost money. They're usually not worth it. Monica says, hey, Zach, what's your promo code for batch leads? Code Zach, ZACH. And then Monica says, what is reverse drawing for dollars? Reverse drawing for dollars is basically when you drive around and you look. It's basically when you pull lists, and it's like you're drawing for dollars because you're looking for distressed properties, except where you actually get a list of, let's say, the pre-foreclosures, and you get a sticky note, and you write on the sticky note, hey, this is name, please give me a call back. And then you stick it on the property, like kind of like a delivery service. And then you have those people inbound call you. And then it's like reverse cold calling too, where you're driving and then you stick the sticky note out and then boom. You can also drive around, look for distressed properties and then put the sticky note on there and then leave. It's better. It's like door knocking, but it's a lot easier and they're calling you. Facebook user says, I told him I'd rather use my title company. So hopefully when he replies, he doesn't throw the deal. You should call them, not text them. But yeah. How do you about having buyers walk the home when the seller lives in the house? Set up a time for the cash buyer to go through it, right? Boom. Chase says, I'm in Illinois right now. I don't have my real estate license, which I know I have to do one deal in order to wholesale more than once a year. Do one deal, and then I'd probably do 50-50, then see if you want to get your license or not. Derek says, I'm in Savannah. Is that a good market? Should I? Derek, I would stay in Savannah. That's a great market. Not like the most insane one, but it's pretty good, especially to the suburbs. Monk says, what that be trespassing? No. If you get permission from the seller, then no. You always got to get permission from the seller. Question here, for virtual wholesaling, do I send the purchase sale to the title company in the seller state? Yes, that's why you get a title company from the seller state there. So guys, that's how you deal with pre-foreclosures. I'm telling you right now, pre-foreclosures are one of the best deals out there if you actually know how to do it. This is the ultimate pre-foreclosure guide. So guys, if you're getting any value of this video, please smash the like button and subscribe. Get the most free value from me. I'm telling you, go out there and actually start pulling these lists, start marketing from it, reverse drive for dollars, door knock, cold call, SMS, whatever way you do, you have the confidence now on the entire pre-foreclosure process from this video. So go out there actually and start closing these deals and start changing your life today. I promise you, pre-foreclosures are one of the best ones out there right now. It's becoming more and more pre-foreclosures out there. So definitely a list you should be going after and one I highly recommend. So guys, go out there, smash that like button, subscribe, go to freewholesaling.com. That is where everything is. If you want to learn wholesaling, like start to finish, freewholesaling.com is the place to be. That's what I'd say. So guys, let's get it going. So guys, if you want, let me play the freewholesaling.com video. Check it out and be signing off. So appreciate it, guys. Have a blessed one. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. Have a blessed one, guys. Thanks. Hey guys, Zach Ginn here from Flip with Rick, and after helping tens of thousands of people get started in wholesaling real estate and helping so many people out go from $0 to $100,000 in wholesaling real estate, I'm super excited to announce my new Wholesaling Mastery course. This Wholesaling Mastery course will have everything step by step on the whole entire wholesaling processes. I'm going to give you real deal examples. I'm going to hold your hand throughout the whole wholesaling process. This course will give you everything you need to know to make up to $100,000 to over $1 million per year in wholesaling real estate profits. Most real estate gurus out there will charge you around $5,000 for a course like this. But today, if you click on the link, you'll get my Wholesaling Mastery course for the low price of...
Sell out.
What?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
What do you mean?
I knew you would do this. I knew you were going to go the course route with the guru. It goes against everything we've preached from day one. Don't be a sellout.
The course is free.
What?
The course is free. I'm giving it for free.
Oh, I apologize. Carry on.
Jeez, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, duh. Do you think I'm going to go sell out as like a regular guru selling you a course? I'm not trying to make money off of you guys. Guys, over here, all you got to do is click there to just sign up. No gimmicks, nothing. Absolutely for free. It's a free wholesaling course. Literally, I've seen every single wholesaling course. I have access to all the 10,000 mentorships. Guys, I literally copied them step by step. I literally have an entire course set out just for you for wholesaling real estate. Click on that and let's get started.